Hey, what's up, cats and kittens? And shout out to all my Cerebralites. It is me, the Cerebral Diva, and I'm back with another episode of You Say What. Now, for those of you who are new to my channel, You Say What is your opportunity to chime in, to leave your 2 cents, and to be a part of the discussion that is happening here on my channel within my community of Cerebralites. Having said that, before you go another further, do yourself a favor, and while you're at it, do me a solid. Take a second to hit that subscribe button. Once you've done that, take another second to hit that tiny little bell so you can turn on your notifications, and that way you'll be kept in the loop so you won't miss a thing. So let's talk about the H&M controversy, and this has gotten a lot of people stirred up, a lot of people fired up. And I have to admit, right, I'm one of those people a lot of times who I want to give people the benefit of the doubt. But sometimes you have to call a spade a spade. Sometimes you have to pick a side. And this is one of those times where I can't be neutral. This is one of those times where, I usually try to take an objective standpoint and really try to take a comprehensive overview of the situation and really figure out what was the thought process, what was the pathology, what would make a person be this thoughtful, this thoughtless, I should say. And for those of you who are not familiar, hopefully you're seeing the image of the actual ad campaign where you see a young black boy wearing a green sweatshirt that says "the coolest monkey in the jungle." Now, some of you may look at that and think that it's innocuous, that it's benign, and that it really doesn't have any implication. But as a person of color, I can tell you that it does. One of the first insults that people will hurl at you as a minority is to call you a primate. You hear that quite often. And for H&M to not have the presence of mind, and I refuse with all of the checks and balances that these campaigns have to go through. And before I talk about H&M, I don't want to just let this be an indictment on H&M, because yes, corporate America doesn't give a damn. They don't care. We all know that. So that's not a surprise. It's not a shock to me in any way, shape, or form. Corporate America is about making money. It's about capitalism. That's their job, to make money. And so being tone deaf is something that we may see quite often from corporate America because they don't really care. But if we're going to talk about H&M, if we're going to put H&M on blast, we also have to talk about the parents of this child. See, we can't just talk about H&M. We have to talk about the parents. Because I don't know about you, but if this were my child, there is no possible way that I would have greenlit my child being put in a t-shirt that said "coolest monkey in the jungle." Why would you allow that? Now, I know the parents don't have a lot of say-so in terms of the styling. I know there's usually an artistic director who sort of creates the overall aesthetic that's going to happen for that particular campaign. But as a parent, you have to have some level of approval in terms of what your child is going to be wearing. So why would you as a parent be okay with your child wearing a t-shirt that definitely have racist overtones? I'm not going to even call them undertones, racist overtones. To me, it just speaks to the ineptitude, to the sort of disconnect that his parents must be going through, because you can't just put all the blame on H&M without taking a look at the parents who are involved in this also. Now, when it comes to H&M, when it comes to other companies like Coke, like we had the same thing with, I believe it was Pepsi, when they did the Kylie Jenner commercial, and it was sort of a take on Black Lives Matter. And I wasn't really offended by that. And to some degree, I thought that people were being a little hypersensitive. Now in retrospect, I can understand how some people were offended by it, because the problem is not that the Kylie Jenner commercial was so bad. The problem is not that, I believe it was like a Juju on That Beats commercial, I forget, for Tory Burch too, where they used a hip-hop song but didn't feature any black models, and people were really offended by that as well. And that was another one of those situations where I'm like, I don't see what the big deal is. But I think when people are sometimes being sensitive about these things, is that these things happen in phases. They go in levels, right? So one day you turn a blind eye to Kylie Jenner, no problem. The next day you turn a blind eye to Juju on That Beat and Tory Burch, no problem. And then the next week you have a young black child wearing a shirt that says, I'm the coolest monkey in the jungle. You turn a blind eye to that. And then the following week, you have a young girl wearing a KKK hoodie for Halloween, and people thinking that it's okay. And so I think that when people are being sensitive about these issues, to a large degree, it's not that the imagery is, in this case, this imagery is very offensive, but I'm speaking in terms of like the Tory Burch issue, in terms of the Pepsi commercial with Kylie Jenner. I think a lot of people have the tendency to have foresight. They see what's coming down the line, and they want to impede that. There's no reason for H&M, a company who prides itself on diversity, on inclusion, to be this tone deaf. And for me personally, I just can't see myself right now, and I'm not going to say long term. It's going to take a lot of sort of work on the part of the the brand managers at H&M, the outreach at H&M, to really sort of change my mind and shift my disposition as it relates to this company. It's 2018. We're in the Me Too era. Where people are. We have to be more sensitive about how we treat people. We have to be more inclusive about respecting the differences and being able to coexist. And part of coexistence is to have a sensitivity to those things that may not be directly related to you, but at least having the presence of mind to say that I'm a more thoughtful person, that I would not want to have that done to me, so I'm not going to do it to other people. So anyhow, you guys, this is You Say What. I want to hear what you guys have to say. And that concludes this episode. So remember to like, comment, subscribe, and please share if you feel so inclined. Remember to follow me across all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. Also remember, it is better to be pissed off than it is to be pissed on. And it's always, in closing, people, remember to live better, love harder, and think smarter. It is me, the Cerebral Diva. I will talk to you guys again soon. Have a great day, and as always, thank you for listening.